Greetings from Precious Blood Renewal Center. Today we'll continue our series on silent prayer using a sacred word to recenter ourselves when distractions occur. But first, let's take a moment to reflect on the one with whom we're longing to be in communion. Allow God's words to descend from your mind to your heart. I have called you by name. You are mine. I knit you in your mother's womb. I have counted every hair on your head. This is just a sampling of the precious sentiments found in Scripture that speaks of God's love for us, a God who placed in our hearts a desire to be in communion with the divine, a God who kissed our souls before placing them in our bodies. In the words of Thomas Keating, a Cistercian priest and the co-founder of the Centering Prayer Movement, the desire to go to God, to open to the divine presence within us, does not come from our initiative. We do not have to go anywhere to find God, because God is already drawing us in every conceivable way into union. It is rather a question of opening to an action that is already happening in us, end quote. In the prayer of silence, we give our yes to the God who is luring us into an intimate encounter and invites us to lie down in green pastures, leads us beside still waters, and restores our souls. When we are resting in the silence, it's helpful to have a sacred word that we can turn to when we become attached to a distraction. It's recommended that the word be 1 or 2 syllables. Allow the Spirit to guide you in your choice of that special word that will draw you back to the precious moment of silent communion with the divine. For years, I've used the word Jesus. Other possibilities are peace, within, rest, stillness, silence, God, or spirit. The possibilities are endless. Pick a word that speaks to your heart. I'll give you a moment to reflect on what word speaks to your heart. We'll spend 3 minutes in silent prayer. Turn your attention briefly to the sacred word when you become attached to a thought. Allow the sacred word to bring you back into the present moment, where you're simply resting in stillness and silence. I'll ring a chime to begin the prayer and bring you back to the room at the end of 3 minutes. Begin by briefly focusing on the sacred word as a statement of your intent to commune with God. Consider journaling with words or art about your experience today. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we'll use an image to draw us back to resting in silence. The first Thursday of each month, Father Ron leads a Taizé prayer service accompanied by musicians. The service, which is quite contemplative, includes chants, readings, and periods of silence. It's offered in person at the Renewal Center or on Zoom. This week, try carving some time into your day for moments of silent prayer. I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, may you feel the loving embrace of our God.
Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray.